What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to talk about transmog and how to up your transmog game. Now, people might say transmog is stupid, transmog is gay, transmog is just dress up for WoW, transmog doesn't increase your character DPS. Well, that's a fucking lie. Let me tell you something. Transmog can increase your DPS by up to 20% if you look like a badass. Ask yourself a question. What's the point of kicking ass if you look like a fucking idiot while you're doing it? Now, we've talked about playing like a champion. We've talked about thinking like a champion. But the third part of this Triforce is looking like a champion. And that could actually really be the most important part. Now, the first thing we want to make a differentiation between is PvP and PvE. Now, in PvP, the first thing you want to do, you walk into Warsong Gulch, you immediately want to assert that you're superior. Okay, so what do you transmog to? Challenge mode gear. So that way somebody says, wow, look at this guy, he's good at PvP, and they automatically know that you're good at PvE too because you've got challenge mode gear. Automatically. You don't even have to take a swing, and they already know that you're better than they are. That's what you shoot for. That's like a best case scenario. Okay, very simple. You go into a raid. What do you transmog to? Elite PvP gear. That way, someone says, "Oh, this boss is hard." Be like, "This is just a scripted encounter. I have elite PvP gear. I'm better than you are. I didn't even have to do anything." See, they already know. You assert your superiority before you even take a swing. Okay, now this works with titles too. Now we'll talk about this real quick. Let's say I go into a raid. What do I use? Arena Master. I go into PvP. What do I use? Hellscream's Downfall. People know that I'm bracketed in all across this game, kicking ass every day, all types of gameplay. That's really what it comes down to. When you think about it, it's like, what do you want to do? You want to be Peter Pan, prancing and dancing around, hitting people with a pool noodle? Or do you want to be a warrior, cutting people up with a fucking sword? Think about it. It's real easy. You got to think about what your transmog says about you. Now we're going to talk about this could be mainly about warrior transmogs. Okay, the first thing we're looking at is Fury. Now Fury is very interesting. Now you never want to use transmog dual wielding swords with Fury because it's not effective. Okay, I recommend you use maces or axes. I mean that's really what is very important. You want people to know what you're about. You're a wild beast. You cannot even be controlled. Okay, you're just swinging and flailing and flopping and all kinds of shit. Cutting people up, smashing people up. You're just a fucking badass. And also, you want to transmog into like red gear. Red is the best. Red or black. Okay, you're vicious. Okay, you're like a tiger or a lion or like a shit. I already said tiger, but you're like a tiger. Okay. Now for prot is also there's a very specific type of tank transmog you want to use for prot. Yeah, the goal is to have the biggest shield in the game. Okay, that's the only thing that matters. Okay, it's not important how much damage you're mitigating. It's important how much damage it looks like you're mitigating. Okay, that's what it really comes down to. Now let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Would you rather have your raid be protected by somebody with a wooden buckler or with the bulwark of Azimuth? Get real. You know, it's the common sense. Now arms is a little bit trickier. You know, honestly, arms can go either way. But one thing that's good about arms is it opens up the possibility of using swords. Okay, and so the main goal with arms is that you want to use the biggest weapon possible. Okay, so we're talking about like Ashkandi, the Grand Marshal's Claymore. What is that? What is that other one? The Drake Talon Cleaver from BWL. I mean, you want to just be hacking and chopping. Like, the farther away that people know that you're a badass, the better. That's the only thing that matters. Like, if people can tell from like a mile away, and they're like, "Wow, yo, look at this guy! Don't go over there. He's gonna chop me the fuck up." Like, you're doing your job, and you don't even need to do your job. As I said before, you're not even taking a swing. They just see you, and they're like, "No, we don't want to have anything to do with that." Now, honestly, one thing is very important is that whenever you transmog, you want to make sure that the gear you're transmogging to, if possible, is unobtainable. Okay, so I'm talking about like elite gear from previous seasons, like tier 3, something like that. So people say, "Wow, that's a really cool transmog. You know, where can I get it?" They can't. They can't get it. They can't even get on your level. So like if you tell somebody to get on your level, they actually can't. Okay, you see how you're automatically asserting superiority in the game just by looking a certain way. It's so simple. Now, one thing that very ambitious players do, and I would recommend anybody who has the same sentiment, is what you do here is you transmog all your gear to look from, let's like AQ40, okay? So like full tier 2.5, you know, if you're a warrior, you know, Dark Edge of Insanity, you know, the gloves from Cthulhu, you know, everything. And so when somebody asks you, you know, oh, wow, where'd you get your transmog? Yo, you got it in vanilla. It's very good for people who like to pretend that they rated in previous expansions when they didn't, okay? And if you tell people that shit for long enough, even you'll start to believe it. Now, honestly, guys, those are my real tips. Like, I've got plenty more tips, and maybe we can talk about some specifics, but I wanted to just give you guys the baseline, make sure that we are on the same level here on transmog and how important it is. And honestly, guys, what I'm going to give you guys as a closing thought here is, you know, who needs DPS when you have swag?